Hello everyone. Tonight, this is our training call for the Shine Bright team. I'm Jeanette McDonald. I'm a gold executive with Asea, and today is the 3rd of July. So welcome to this Shine Bright training, a meeting where our growing Asea family gathers to learn and develop skills and to help this mission of Asea, to help hundreds and thousands of people around the world to live a healthier life while achieving their own personal and financial aspirations and dreams. Many healthcare professionals are calling Asea and Asea's products the greatest scientific breakthrough in health science, anti-aging and athletic performance in our lifetime. They're saying that this science discovery is as big as the discovery of penicillin and DNA. So the intention of this call tonight is to support you to gain maximum benefit from using Asea's products and to empower you to share this extraordinary technology with the many people in your life. Making a living while making a difference. That's our motto. So tonight we ask for your cooperation to not record this call, to not distribute it to mass media or social media sites, so no Facebook or Twitter, please. The call is recorded and then afterwards it will be posted to the Shine Bright Team Facebook community and the team support website, which is www.shinebrightteam.com/blog. We encourage you to invite associates to this call every week. There's the training call at 7 p.m, followed by the Redox talks at 8 p.m. It's not intended for the general public at all. Certainly this one isn't, because it's training. So I just want to make a couple of announcements before we get underway with the full call. Tonight, following this call at 8 p.m, it'll be a Redox talk call, and that will be Justin interviewing Stuart Robinson tonight. Then next week, this training call at 7 p.m. will be called Mindset, using Morning Miracle process to set you up for success. And our Platinum Executive, Lorna Golombek, will host that particular one. So they're the upcoming calls for tonight and for next week. And, of course, Clay Stevens is coming to Brisbane later this month, and then certainly in the first weekend of Melbourne. First weekend in August, he'll be in Melbourne. So Brisbane 29th of July and Melbourne the 5th of August. It's a 9 to 5 p.m. one-day training, and it's $107 US. And if you want to find out more about that, go to www.ritraining.com/Australia. So a lot of that information will be up in your Shine Bright community Facebook anyhow. So that's the announcements taken care of and my little intro for this evening. And I'd really like to begin this call, this training call tonight, with a call about creating your story or getting your story right. Over the last few weeks, certainly with the calls, there's been a lot of work around elevator pitches and preparing yourself to introduce the molecules to other people. But tonight I'd like to share with you perhaps just a little bit of work you could do to prepare your story. One of the things that I found out probably about 12 months ago when I was doing a little bit of training myself is that sometimes as network marketers, sometimes as business builders, we have to prepare two stories, depending, of course, on your audience. And I know for me, my first story started off as a product story because I'm not sure everybody knows, but I've got a fairly large story myself in terms of health with Asea. So I carried on for some time with a health product story. But as I became more engaged in the business, I had to develop my business story. So tonight will really be about developing a product story and a business story that's your own. So I'd like in a moment to share the screen. I've only got 10 slides tonight, so it's not an in-depth PowerPoint, but it's just one I'd like to share with you as a great way to encourage you to get in touch with your story so that you get to be more comfortable with that. And it's a short story, not the long version with all the bells and whistles, but it's a great way to really just get comfortable and talk to people, whether they're family, friends or strangers, and really ground or anchor into your story. So if you're happy to go ahead, I'd love to share my screen, which I'll do right away. And I'm just going to hit the slideshow here. Okay, so this is what we're doing tonight. We're going to learn to package our Asea story, and that will be our pathway to success. Just give me a thumbs up if you can see the screen really well. Okay, just a thumbs up. Good-o. Not too large, it can be easily seen. Great, excellent, fantastic. So we'll keep going. Okay, so really this is it. I think coming to this place in the business or sharing of the products is a little bit like a treasure map. You have to start somewhere until you get to the gold. And one of the first things that I think is really this, to share the Asea business and to build it really successfully, we have to find a way to package our own story. I realise that the further I go along, I notice that I have those two stories, which I just spoke about before. So the two stories are really aimed at two different prospects. Our product story, which will inevitably capture our loyal product users, and our business story, which I like to think of as capturing our rock star business builders. So they're the two stories, and tonight I'm going to just take you on a little journey along the treasure map through those two stories. So first of all, our story must be 2 minutes or less. We always hear that about our elevator pitch. But really I find the elevator pitch is often not enough for me. I think that an elevator pitch is, you know, just a very brief thing, but I feel like, got it. We just had something fall off the screen there, so it's back on now, everybody. Sorry about that. I just feel like the story really is one where you work on capturing the story that's authentic to you, and quite simply, it must capture the attention of your prospects. Now, I you know, that elevator pitch is great, fantastic. If you're just meeting someone, you've only got a minute or two to deliver it. But when someone asks you to sit down and tell me a bit more about it, that's really when you have to have a little bit more ready than just the 60-second captions. Now, people buy us. They buy into our excitement. Sometimes they already trust us, so that often feels like a better place to start. But more often than not, particularly in my case, often people have just noticed the difference in me. So they notice the change in me and they mention something to me. Other times they just catch the vision and they want to come along for the ride. But you have to remember, to begin with, that you have to stand in your own professional space, because this is not a hobby for us, it's a professional business. And quite simply, the more I'm involved with the Asea, the more I know that we are on a mission to bring this to the world. So we have to see this as being a place that brings forward our authentic self. So, you know, we do not stay in one place with Asea. Each week you begin again when you start after Saturday at 2 p.m, so that's for sure. So each week you begin again, but you're never at zero because you've already worked to build the business to a particular place. You're always moving forward. You're always moving towards something. So goals are important, and most people have goals in place. But if you want to bring people along with you, then you have to paint a really compelling vision of where you're going. Some people will catch on to the vision and want to join the journey with you, and that's always wonderful when that happens. But others won't. They're perhaps not ready. And so that's where your story comes in. So to figure out our pathway to package our story, I usually start with 5 key questions. And then once we've worked out the answer to these questions, then we're able to shape that story around the 5 questions. So it's sort of like a map. If we follow this map, we'll find the treasure through the sharing of our own story. So I'll keep going here. This is what I've come to know are the 5 questions, and then obviously from these questions, we start to manage the answers. So both of our stories are important. There's the product story, there's the business story, and the 5 key questions to relate to either story. It doesn't matter which story, but you use these 5 questions. Where was I? What did I see? What did I do? Where am I at now? And where am I going? So that sort of doesn't sound like much. It doesn't make much sense as I say it right now. But let's go to the next slide. So this is the first one. Let's start with our product story, because this is often a place most of us who are on this call who've had health challenges and certainly have seen the benefits of the products will begin. So our product story begins with the 5 questions. First one, where was I? And that question is about your own health issues. When you heard about the Redox products, where were you with your health? And that becomes the starting point for your story. Then after you started the product, what did I see? What benefits did I see? When I was first introduced it, what benefits did I see could happen for me if I started on the product? So what could happen? And then the next one, what action did I take when you first heard about it? So was your action, I really want to get on board and jump on straight away? Was your action, I don't believe this, I need more information? Was your action, I'm a science nerd, I need to know more about the science? Was your action one where I need to talk to a couple of other people first? What was your reaction and what action did you take? Then number 4 there is, where am I at now? Your positive experiences. And maybe for some people, particularly if you're a person who's been taking the Asea products preventatively rather than because you've had a major health challenge, then it may well be that you jumped on board for someone else in your family. And it may be that you might have to talk a little bit about their story as a way of showing benefits and positive experiences. Then the final part, where am I going? Your vision, your goals for your health and well-being. And this is really important to be real and specific. So we'll keep moving. So that's the product story. And the business story's more or less the same. Where was I at? Your business or financial situation when you heard about the opportunity. Your purpose or lack of purpose is perhaps the starting point. What did I see? That's what opportunity did I see for myself when I was introduced to the business? What did I do with that introduction to the business? Did I see it as an opportunity and jump on it? Did I take some time to mull it over? Was I ready? Did I not act first time? Did I jump on it 6 months later? Did I have to hear it 7 times? Did I Facebook group for 4 months before I cottoned on? Was it all about timing? Then number 4, your positive experience or that of another. That's simple to see. And then the last one, your vision, your goals for your lifestyle and future. What big picture vision is now possible for you and yours now that you have a business of some kind? So that's really the outline of where you go, but I've taken it a step further on the next two slides, and I've pulled this together with my story for you so that you get an idea, and I've just put my answers to the 5 questions. And for me, this is how it would go if I'm talking about my product story, because people will ask me a bit of a question, and if I know this stuff, I'll pull some of it out, I'll add some of it in, but this is where I'd go. Well, after a collision with cancer in 2015 and subsequent chemotherapy, because I'm talking to somebody, I'm mentioning all this on here because it's a business call tonight, but if I'm talking to a person one-on-one who knows me or knows a bit of my story, I would use this exact wording because that is how it is. So after a collision with cancer in 2015 and subsequent chemotherapy, I was looking for a complete recovery from my ordeal and trauma. I needed repair to go on right down to the cellular level, so I'd never be in this position ever again in my lifetime. So when I was first introduced to Asea, I saw a real chance for me to regain my health, the power over my health, but it was really more important to me that having had a previous toxic experience, this was non-toxic, 100% safe. So that was like a get out of jail, go past, go to the next space, get $200, whatever it was. It was like a movement on the board of life for me. I was fascinated and knew that this is exactly what I was looking for. So I signed up as an associate with a promo pack so I could really get moving on the product because I didn't want to muck around. So, my story is 2 years on, a little more than 2 years on, and my life's completely different. In fact, I have experienced one miracle after another with my health, and it's completely changed the trajectory of my life. So right now, at 57 years of young, I'm in the best health of my life. My future is bright. My skin has a youthful look. I'm full of vitality of a 40-something, and I've been able to regain my energy for my work, my passions, and for really one of the things for me is for some long-held dreams that I knew wouldn't be possible unless I got well again. And really now I have another part to that. It's if I stay well and keep on this trajectory, then I'm able to make a contribution to others, and that's really important to me. But that's my product story. So that's how it comes together. And then I'll flip to the next one, because the next one's the business story. So I'll just flip so that I can finish the screen share. So the business story goes something a little different. I was in my mid-50s and had just come through a life-threatening health challenge. As a sole business trader due to my health issues, my work had diminished. I'd been through a dark night of the soul. I was looking for a change of direction and a flexible way to work. I wanted to live my life on purpose and not just survive it on autopilot. I'd always been entrepreneurial, but I did not see the opportunity immediately. When I felt better and knew it was the Asea doing this, I knew that I could do the business and that it would be a perfect fit for me to bring all my skills and talents together. So I got involved with the leaders, saturated myself with the ethos of the company, set about learning and being educated on the products, tools and systems available, including all the training on offer. Right now, I'm a gold executive leading a team of people who are witnessing changes in their health, their finances and their lives. I'm partnering with a company that celebrates the efforts of people in the field. My friends and my Asea family, my lifestyle has transformed to include travel opportunities. And now I am on purpose. I have a vision for the future that is bright, and I plan to be a diamond executive taking Asea to the world. I am part of a revolution in wellness and lifestyle. So that is my business story as it stands. And I'm going to stop the share now. So I just wanted to share that with you tonight, 2 different ways of sharing the story. That's my written story. Of course, when I say it, it's a little bit automated, not as automated, but it's a little different to that when I say it. But if you've gone ahead and written the bare bones of both stories for yourself, then that places you in a position to know who you're speaking to. So if you're speaking to someone who's talking about the product and says to you, tell me your story. How did you get involved, or what is this Asea thing doing for you? Then you wouldn't use that whole chunk altogether. Sometimes I'll do a bit, we'll talk back and forward, but my bits then will come out in the whole conversation. So it's not a story I deliver as a verbal diarrhea at somebody or a verbal vomit, but what it is that's my bare bones story that I know. And because I know it really well, I can pull the different pieces apart depending on the person, the vibe they're giving me, what I know I need to work with in order to forward move that whole situation forward. So that getting my story together, not just my elevator pitch, but my actual two stories, has been a very powerful turning point for me in terms of attracting, because we're moving into a space now with the Shine Bright team of attraction marketing. So to attract, to be attractive to others, you have to have a story that is compelling, a story that builds urgency, as Clay speaks about, but also a story that is heartfelt and that is really telling people, I have had such changes in my life, I'd love for you to be able to experience that as well. The choice is yours, but I'm just leaving you with my story, and see how that manifests for them in terms of the relationship. So I've just shared that, and I would ask you to, go forward now, and if it's something that appeals to you and you feel compelled to write the story, then I'm quite happy to share those 5 questions. Some people would have taken a screenshot. This will be recorded, but I'm happy to share the 5 questions in the Shine Bright team, and I'm also happy to do my version of both as a sample for either of you to get cracking on your story, so at least you have a skeleton to start with. That's the way I work. So, my story is not your story, but it's a great way to give you an exemplar to go forward. So that's really how I want to bring the training forward tonight, wrap it, make it short, sharp and punchy, but give you something to really sink your teeth into. Because quite literally, if you get going with that, it could completely rock your world. And in this 90-day challenge, we're trying to rock people's world. Not only your world as a business builder, but also your ability to attract your rock star. Because it's time, people. That's all I can say. It's time to get other people on board, to get them engaged, to, be a compelling magnet for getting Virtus's message out. I'm so passionate about that because obviously from my own shift in health, but the ethos of this company is more than many other companies I've been involved in. And certainly for me in this last 2 years, I've never been treated with such recognition and value by a company before. And I've worked in traditional business, tiny bit of MLM before, and in some, in the field of education prior to that. Certainly didn't get any recognition and kudos in the same way that I am with this company, being in the field. So, being in the field, introducing other people to this magnificent place in the field is really privileged work. So get your story ready, stand in your power, feel strong about that, come from an authentic place where you're just anchored in your own truth. Don't be worried about anybody else. Just speak your truth, know that you're an attracting machine, and certainly just keep moving forward with the message, because that's what it's all about. But your story is pivotal to all of that. And once you've got your story, you have a lot of confidence, and confidence builds success. So that's probably my rave for the night. I call it a rave. When I get on and do something like that, I just do a 20-minute rave. So my rave is done. It's Q&A time. So if anyone has a question, we're just going to stop the recording and we'll go to a couple of quick questions.